The playoff phase begins with the match between Tarsan and Soccer. The winner of this battle will be Show's opponent in the semi-final. Later on, the second quarter-final will take place between Muslim and Goody to determine White Raw's rival in the second semi-final. The match between Tarsan and Soccer begins. On the first map, Soccer's game is marked by errors and recognisably without a plan. The timing of his attacks on Tarsan's base is more than unfortunate, and he doesn't have enough units to defend himself against a counter-attack, and in the end has to surrender. On the second map, Tarsan attacks violently. His army of marines, tanks and Viking aircraft outnumbers Soccer's zealots and colossi. The German gives up once again. The third and final map is even at the start. However, after the decisive battle, Soccer is no longer able to defend his base and loses again. 3-0 and the ultimate joy on Tarsan's face.
Ah, God.
I feel great, I'm really happy. I'm also a bit surprised. I thought, Soccer will beat me, maybe not 3-0, but 3-2, something like this. So yeah, I'm really happy. I was very nervous during the games, but it's huge relief, and I'm really happy.
By winning Group A, White Raw advanced directly to the semi-finals. That's why the third day of the tournament is a day off for him. Together with his good friend Yevgeny Operachev, he spends his free time in downtown Kiev.
Today is a special day for Ukraine because North and South Ukraine join each other and celebrate this day.
On January 22nd, 1918, Ukraine liberated itself from Russia and regained independence shortly afterwards. To celebrate this date, White Raw visits one of the traditional Tatar restaurants. At the age of 30, he is by far the oldest and most experienced player of the Intel Extreme Masters tournament and has his own methods of preparing for demanding games and competitions. Good food and a glass of wine are most definitely a part of it.
Tomorrow I have very important day. It's a semi-final in the European Championship in Sakha. To talk about games, maybe discussing about tactics with my friend, and it's be important to relax before tomorrow games.
Before heading back to the tournament venue to study his next opponent, he spends the rest of the day enjoying a long walk through the streets of the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. The second quarter-final is between Muslim and Goody, who has played his games very defensively. On the first map, however, he produces a vast army of Hellions, tanks and Thors and plays extremely aggressively and devastates Muslim. The second map is very similar and the German wins again. He's only one map away from the semi-final. With his back against the wall, Muslim changes his tactics, depending fully on the attack from the air, and gets the third map. With White Raw watching, it's 2-2 and the match goes to a fifth and deciding map. Very quickly, Goody finds himself surrounded in his own base and has to surrender. Great relief and joy on Muslim's face. It's so far the biggest comeback of the tournament. Losing 0-2 and eventually winning 3-2 in the end deserves a great deal of respect.
I'm doubly happy. I'm still shaking, very nervous still, and just so excited. White Raw is a really tough opponent. Goody, he went 4-1 in the groups. He was 2-0 up against me. It was extremely tough, but if I play like I did in those last 3 games, I feel I can give White Raw a real run for his money. I'm not going to think about it just now. I just want to think about playing my best and yeah, just showing everybody a good game. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I can't even string together a proper sentence because I'm just that excited.
Thought I was far ahead, and then he contained me, and I couldn't break out, and then he won the game, and on the other match I made some stupid mistakes.
It showed me that if I have won versus him 2-0 to 1, I now need to relax and be very careful.
Before the upcoming duel against Muslim, White Raw realises he cannot let himself underestimate the 21-year-old Brit at any point of the game. The last day of the Intel Extreme Masters European Championship tournament will see the most important resolutions. Both of the semi-finals will take place in the afternoon and our group winners will be back in action again after their day off yesterday. White Raw and Muslim have come a long way to get this close to the European Championship title. They play in the first of the semi-finals today. While the Englishman is setting up on the computer already, the Ukrainian is reaching for a cup of tea.
I thinking about future games and thinking about my game. Choose a good way for my win. Maybe it's be aggressive style or passive, so maybe defense.
In the group stage, he definitely had his way with me and left me very demoralized. And yeah, now I've got the second chance to take him on in the semi-finals, and I hope I can do my best with that.
The stage is now for the athletes. Being a local hero, White Rock can count on the support of the audience gathered in the Kiev Cybersport Arena. On the other hand, Muslim's brilliant comeback in yesterday's match earned him a lot of respect. In such a highly anticipated match like this, it's all about fair play and the opponents. Each of them being a gentleman, wish each other good luck. Right before the game, they are ready, fully prepared and focused. On the first map, White Raw's strategy is to attack the Muslim's base quickly, but he finds it to be very well defended. He cannot oppose the instant counter-attack and has to give in to the Muslim's banshees. It's 1-0 for the Englishman. The second map initially seems to be very even, which makes the audience cheer even stronger for the Ukrainian. Encouraged by his fans, White Raw takes the initiative and successfully destroys the Muslims' army with stalkers, sentries and zealots. On the third map, White Raw uses Dark Templar, a cloak unit with which he can attack the Muslim without being noticed. Unfortunately, the Englishman realizes what's going on and counterattacks with his ground troops and aircraft. The Ukrainian tries to fight back but is overwhelmed. The Muslim takes the lead. Cheered on by the audience, there is a fierce battle on the fourth map that is marked by the mutual attacks. Suddenly, White Raw finds a perfect position for a decisive attack with his Colossi. Thanks to good micromanagement, he wins the final battle and ties the overall score once again. It's now 2-2. It's all or nothing now. As you can see, White Raw breathes a sigh of relief and wipes the sweat away. But it's his English opponent who's really sweating now with the score all tied up. On the last map, White Raw pulls some real tricks out of nowhere. With the help of Colossi and Psystorms, he goes for a final attack and secures the last map for himself. The Muslim cannot believe his dream of winning the title is over. He fought well and was a great opponent, but in the end it's White Raw who will fight for the trophy in the grand final.
I say yesterday it's been very hard for me. It's 3-2 maybe score, or I lost or I won, but today I have a bit luck for less game.
Well, I'm not sad to lose to White Raw. I'm a little disappointed in myself, but he played better than me, so all credits where credits due, you know, so he played a good game.
I say him chose very good tactics, and you yesterday interview, you say you change your game, and I not expected really. It's very hard for me. After second and third game, I just changed my game, so it's be very difficult play versus the Muslim really.
In the second semi-final, Show and Tarson will fight off against each other. The Swede is a favourite of the match, since so far in the tournament he hasn't lost a single match.
I'm playing the Polish player Tarson. He's a really good player and he showed a great skill in this tournament, and I think it's going to be close. It's going to be like 4 or 5 games, and I think I'm going to win. I'm pretty confident I'm going to win.
I'm playing Show in the semifinals, and I'm hoping for 3-1 for me. Yes.
Both players play with the same race, Terran. On the first map, Tarson acts too defensively and cannot cope with the aggressive style of the Swede. In the second map, Show gains the advantage by choosing the right units and gains a 2-0 lead. Also, in the third map, Tarson's play is much too passive. His base is attacked by Show, his building is destroyed, and he has to give up in the end. Show books his place in the grand final, where he will take on White Raw.
Yeah, it was a tough game. I think I was pretty lucky with the drops I did, and they basically won the game. I got an advantage, and from there I could win pretty easy.
I'm a bit sad, you know, but I'm happy I'm going to Global Challenge in Hanover, so yeah, it's about that.
Right before the grand final, Tarson and Muslim are playing the match for the third place. With a 3-1 result, Benjamin Muslim Baker secures the check for $1,800 for himself, and despite missing out in the final, he ends the tournament fully satisfied.
I feel fantastic. I did not expect to get into the top 3. When I saw the group stages, I thought I'd be lucky to pass those, so top 3 finish, I am definitely satisfied with that.
But let's move on to the grand final. In the last 3 days, both Show and Whiteraw have proven that they deserve to fight for the championship. May the better man win.
I want to win because we play in Ukraine.
I want to win for me, my team and my country.
Fans of the 24-year-old Swede scattered around the arena keep their fingers crossed for their so far undefeated idol. But the vast majority of the audience is clearly on Whiteraw's side. He's the last Ukrainian still in the tournament, and the hopes of the whole Ukrainian esports community are now resting on his shoulders. Highly focused, both athletes get down to business. Once again, Show's but repetitive attacks bring him closer to the victory. Whiteraw is defending his base bravely, but he cannot withstand those constant attacks. In the final battle, he's unable to oppose Show, and he falls 0-1 behind. Show's team, all of them tense and nervous, follow the last final match of the Intel Extreme Masters European Championship in Kiev. The audience is doing everything to support its favourite. The battle on the second map is extremely close. Suddenly Show decides to change his tactics and puts everything into one final attack. His forces are outnumbered, and in the direct fight against Whiteraw he has to defend himself quite often. But thanks to his very good micromanagement he can still win the battle and leads 2-0. The audience goes crazy watching a high-class match like this. Their favourite Whiteraw is now pressed against the wall. On the third map he attacks Show's base with a huge army, and to the delight of the masses, he is victorious. Completely unimpressed by the Whiteraw comeback, Show plays the fourth map very calmly and decides to go for a very solid and safe opening. At some point, both players are dangerously close to either winning or losing. The Swede decides to gather all he has and attack the base of the Ukrainian, who at the very beginning seems to be able to defend himself. Unfortunately, not for too long, Show is just too dominant. After a thrilling final and the final result 3-1, Show can hardly believe his luck. With his performance, he wins the Intel Extreme Masters European Championship in StarCraft 2.
Awesome. I didn't really expect this, and the games really went the games really went well, and I managed to win, and I'm really happy.
And it's be 2-0 for Soul. It's be almost GG for me. So it's very, very sad.
After 4 exciting days, we finally know the first European champion in StarCraft 2, Jeffrey Show Brucey from Sweden. Without a single lost match and only 2 lost maps, he deserves the title like no one else. He's awarded with $7,500 and a slot in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, which will take place at CeBIT 2011 in Hanover, where we'll also see the other semi-finalists of the Kiev tournament and the creme de la creme of the world's best StarCraft 2 players from Asia, America and Australia. See you next time when the Intel Extreme Masters World Champions will be determined.